And now we're here to get engaged. We're not getting married tonight, but we're looking to get engaged. We will get married when the actual lease is executed, hopefully in about 9 months.
Tarek Pateh leads the development team for a proposed garage near downtown St. Augustine. Liz Ryan has our top story.
It's a large-scale project that's been discussed for quite a while now, and a memorandum of understanding was presented at this week's City Commission meeting. A 750-space parking garage is planned for the main gateway into downtown St. Augustine, the corner of US 1 and West King Street. The property is owned by the Browdy family of Browdy's Liquors, and the tentative deal states that they would build and own the parking garage, and the city would lease and operate it. Assistant City Manager Ruben Franklin.
It will serve multiple purposes for the city of St. Augustine. It can be used for peak loading when our existing parking garage fills up. We can push people to this garage and run shuttles out of it. It has a secondary purpose as well. It can provide parking for that business district that we know there's a need for in West Augustine. And then we also envision this as being like workforce parking garage where workers in the community would go and park there and then take a shuttle into town.
The city would rent the garage at $300,000 a year for 30 years, increasing 3% per year.
The whole parking system as a whole, the existing parking garage, our on-street parking, our flat lots, and this garage. So those revenues will be used to pay this lease. Another funding mechanism we have is the mobility fee that we established.
This has the full support of Commissioner Cynthia Garris.
There's no secret that I want this project in the West Side. I want the West Side to get revived. It's been ignored, overlooked, and this project is something huge.
A parking garage on Route 1 in West King could be just the beginning. It could eventually become a transportation hub, complete with a commuter rail linking St. Augustine with Jacksonville. And we'll keep you up to date on new developments as they happen.
This local news is a service of your hometown Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
In other city government news, the proposed nightlife ordinance, which was passed to second reading at this week's commissioners' meeting, has generated a lot of discussion. City of St. Augustine Communications Director Melissa Wissel has noticed that there is some false information going around, and she wants to set the record straight.
The ordinance is to require a special permit to sell alcohol from the hours of 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. The ordinance does not require any establishment to shut down. You just can't sell alcohol after midnight without the special permit. No one is going to be required to shut down at 10 p.m. So that's the most misconstrued piece of information that's out there.
Some of the residents of downtown St. Augustine have complained about the noise that nightlife generates. There are existing regulations about noise, and this ordinance really doesn't change that.
The noise element simply requires establishments to comply with the existing noise ordinance. There's no language in the new nightlife ordinance that relates to any specific hours regarding noise.
A lot of people showed up at that meeting, and the commission took into consideration the things they had to say.
The commission, in their discussion on September 11th, made some recommended changes to the language, which the city attorney tweaked, so that new and final version of the ordinance will be read on the 25th at the second reading.
For St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Liz Ryan.
You may have seen it on social media, or you may have fallen victim to it. Scams involving Wells Fargo Bank are making the rounds right now in St. Johns County. Dan Cusick, Senior Vice President of Fraud Protection for Wells Fargo, says scam emails, texts, and calls may look like they're coming from Wells Fargo, but
don't trust caller ID. We see that those numbers are spoofed quite often, meaning they're pretending to be from a trusted entity, whether it be the government or a utility company.
If you get one of those calls, Cusick advises you to never hand out personal information.
Your one-time passcodes, your passwords, your PIN numbers, etc. Really hold that close to your vest. That's not something you should be sharing. We're never going to ask you for those. So if that happens, clear red flag, you should disconnect the call and contact us on another line.
The best thing you can do is ignore the text, delete the email, or hang up on the scammer. With St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Amy Sherry.
And now you're up to date with St. Augustine's Local Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.